My hamster exploded. Coming from r/teenagers. It's tagged as rant. Okay. I've been crying in my room for 2 hours now. I was making some salad dressing in the kitchen with my pet hamster Manny. I let him roam around. Okay, there's your first problem. My sister and her friends were also in there doing something. I spilled a bottle of vinegar, so I left to get a towel, and when I came back, Manny was drinking it. I didn't think anything of it, so I let him help me clean it up.
No.
He's normally very full of energy, but he was just sitting still. Everyone gathered around him to try to figure out what was wrong. Suddenly, we hear a fizzling noise coming from inside Manny, and he started expanding. He let out a final squeak and bursted. Bubbles and blood went everywhere. My sister and her friends started screaming and crying. I ran and got my dad, and he cleaned it up. We looked into the pantry, and apparently Manny got into the baking soda and ate a bunch of it.
Oh,
I think I'm traumatized now. So he had vinegar and baking soda.
Oh no. Pain.
Oh my god.
That is...
insane.
I could not imagine.
That's unreal.
It's like, what's going on with it? Why is he getting bigger and just...
He exploded.
I don't even want to imagine that. But I already have.
When I was 4, I went with my mom and twin brother to our first day of daycare at this Christian church. We did not attend. My mom had left me and we were playing, and I noticed that we could play with the school hamsters. I got my pick, a little guy named Cheerio, as he was tan in color. I was little, so I don't remember if I was in some sort of pen to keep him in place. But we were both on the floor. I think I was supposed to set him in my lap and pet him, but as we know, hamsters don't do that. He started running all over the ground, and I decided to play a game with him where he would run under my legs like a tunnel. We did it once. It was round 2, and I thought he was through the tunnel, so I sat down to look for him. Little guy was splooted. I sat up and looked at this mangled hamster under me. Kids around me started screaming, and one kid was yelling at me saying I was a murderer. We all sat in the gym while the teachers took care of him and the carpet. It was a long time, I believe. Again, I was 4. 5 minutes could feel like an hour, so I think and hope. They put him out of his misery, and I don't believe it was instant death. We buried him outside in the playground and held a funeral and prayed for the little guy. We did not return back after that, but we did stop by to drop off a guinea pig. In hindsight, probably a bad idea. Why would you give them a guinea pig, though?
Yeah, no.
Dude got sat on.
That's one hell of a way to go.
That's not even the hamster's fault. Like, what was he supposed to do in that situation? He looks up and all of a sudden, ass. Swan dived from the fridge. Yep, that's basically it. Climbed up through the back of the fridge and jumped off. My fridge is 7 feet tall.
The first comment he was checking.
He was checking for fall damage. Bro thought he was in Assassin's Creed.
That was for sure a suicide. There's nothing else. Like, what? That's
Yeah,
not an accident.
he literally committed suicide.
There's no way he did it by accident. What the fuck? Hamsters
There's
only
2.
get to heaven if they die violently.
True. It's like Valhalla for hamsters, but they have to die stupidly.
The more kids traumatized by a hamster's death, the better it is for them in heaven.
We didn't adopt Squeaky from a pet store or anything like that. My dad found the little guy on the road being picked at by crows. He rescued the little hamster and put him on the mend. The first night seemed scary since he lost an eye and a leg. This ain't looking good for this guy. The next morning though, he was really energetic and well on his way to recovery. We needed something to call him, and us being ages 2 to 4, came up with the super creative name Squeaky. Squeaky went on to make a full recovery, thriving as a one-eyed, three-legged hamster that was beloved by us all. Dad made jokes about him getting a small peg leg and a tiny eye patch for Halloween, but that day never came.
Didn't make it that far.
You see, Squeaky was tough. He lived life his way without compromise. So when my unknowing older sister picked him up one day, disrupting what little zen existed in this dark creature's soul, she awoke an ancient undying rage known only to small rodents. Squeaky immediately dug his little meat-ripping teeth into the webbing between her thumb and index finger, and spilled my innocent sister's blood. However, Squeaky's demise came quickly as his untamable rage, and by morning he was gone. To this day, we don't know if he was assassinated, if his little hamster heart couldn't bear his rage, or if he transcended this mortal plane into a being of higher power beyond our own comprehension. Whatever happened to him, I hope he is at peace. What an absolute unit, bro.
I like the way this guy wrote this.
What a guy.
I love the way he was like disrupting the little zen existence in this dark creature's soul. So freaking dramatic.
Okay, well, I read the first comment. I don't know what's worse, your cousin telling you to squeeze the lizard because it's fun, or you actually killing the thing. Okay, my cousin had a lizard and was always proud of it. She would bring it out, especially when her parents weren't around. Once, when he was around 8, she brought him out for me and my brother to play with. She handed him to me and said, "Squeeze him. Squeeze him, it's fun. Sometimes he pees a little." I didn't want to. I was scared, but I eventually gave in to the pressure. As expected, I squeezed him a bit too hard and he died right in my hand.
Yeah, that first comment, I don't know what's worse either.